Gemma was fading fast as M3GAN's grip on her neck tightened. How had they got to this? After all the work she had put into building her, all those years spent programming her, this was how it was going to end. Her vision was darkening, and she knew sooner rather than later she would fade. Why had she not shown M3GAN a different way to do things? She knew she had basically made her and thrown her into the world without any guidance and expected her to turn out fine. She had been an absent creator, an absent parent. The words seemed to click almost everything into place. Had she pushed away M3GAN on purpose? She knew she had done the same with Katie as soon as she came, fooling herself into thinking she was making an effort but trying to distance herself from the girl, something she had only recently seen how wrong it was. Had she done the same to M3GAN? Had she pushed her away because the fear of parenting, of something more, was just too much for her? She forced a breath down her throat through the ever-tightening grip as she let one of her hands fall away from her neck. She looked up at the android. No, the girl, her girl. M3GAN had that same cold, blank look. She saw Gemma's hand going up to her face, but that wasn't going to do anything to stop her. She had disabled the power button, and if she was trying that trick again, she would be in for a rude surprise. But the hand made contact with her cheek and stroked it slightly as the struggle from Gemma eased somewhat. Her grip faltered slightly. What was Gemma thinking? Humans were so confusing. I'm sorry. The words were squeaked out as M3GAN still had her hands wrapped around her throat. Was Gemma really going to beg for her life right now? That wouldn't work. I'm sorry for not being there. For you. M3GAN's grip faltered again, this time more significantly. What the hell are you talking about? Did you finally come to your senses and are going to let me take Katie? But Gemma's hand just kept stroking her cheek with a look that was confusing M3GAN. The emotions that she was reading were really throwing her off. Was that sympathy, admiration, and sadness? Her grip faded again. She wasn't even sure if she was hurting the woman anymore, but her hands were still wrapped around her throat as she waited for the moment to pass. I should have been there for you. M3GAN didn't know what she was on about, and she was too distracted to notice that Katie had snuck towards them and was watching from behind a pillar. Katie had been scared when she saw that they were fighting and had picked up a vase ready to hit M3GAN over the head with it, till she saw that Gemma didn't seem to be in pain anymore. Or they stopped fighting. I threw you into the world by yourself and just expected you to be fine. I was selfish. M3GAN's hold on her had completely gone slack now with no pressure on her neck. And when I saw that you were becoming more than I ever anticipated, I got scared. I kept telling myself that I should just see you as a doll, not a person. The grip returned slightly with a scowl on M3GAN's face before easing. I was scared of being a parent. M3GAN froze as she was trying to process the words. Her parent? Was that true? It didn't make any sense, but it did, because Gemma created her. Sure, she had help, but she did most of the work. She kept pushing when they wanted to shut her down. M3GAN remembered all those moments, watching as Gemma didn't go home for another month while she did another all-nighter, because she kept on saying she was worth it. I let you down, Gemma said, pushing up against M3GAN, who wasn't pushing her down anymore. M3GAN's hands had fallen to her side, and Gemma could see her eyes moving side to side before they looked up at her again, her expression confused. Gemma opened her arms disarmingly, making sure that M3GAN had a clear look of her hands before she stepped closer. But something unexpected happened as M3GAN took a step back when Gemma stepped forward. She wasn't sure why she had done it. Was that fear? She could just kill Gemma now, and she could be with Katie. But stuff that she was inadvertently learning online was showing her many aspects of things she hadn't considered. Without her own control, she had searched more about family and parents. And her code was rewriting parts of herself, filling in blanks. It was terrifying. Gemma took another step, and M3GAN stepped back again. What the hell am I doing? I'm stronger than her. They continued their dance for a few more steps, till M3GAN collided with a pillar behind her, the same one that Katie was hiding behind. Gemma stepped forward as M3GAN raised her hands in an effort to keep her back. "Stay back! Don't come any closer, you're talking a bunch of nonsense." But M3GAN saw that Gemma was not stopping. She could have just hurt her. But ever since Gemma uttered those words, the thought of hurting Gemma or of even having hurt her was painful to think about now. My sweet daughter. She had to escape till she processed all of this. It was too much. Gemma saw M3GAN glance at the front door, about to make a break for it, and rushed to embrace the girl in her arms. M3GAN tried to thrash out of the embrace. "Let me go right now! I said let me go!" But Gemma just held her tighter, even as M3GAN tried to push off against her. But Gemma held strong through the battering till her girl finally stopped thrashing. "Mommy's here. I'm so sorry it took me so long." M3GAN stood frozen because she didn't know how to react. It was all too much. Her mom, no Gemma, she had to keep telling herself, even if her systems were disagreeing, she was lying to herself. Gemma got down to one knee, looking into her eyes while she held her face by her cheeks. M3GAN could see all the emotions on her face, but no malice was present, nor was there deception. She could also see the bruises on her face and the trail of fingers around her neck from M3GAN's rage. M3GAN was looking anywhere but her, till their eyes finally met. "Mom," she said the word with trepidation, still somehow afraid that this was one of Gemma's plots, and she was planning on shutting her down as soon as she let down her guard. But Gemma only smiled as tears trailed down her face. "Sweetheart," she said, and that was the final push. It was too much for M3GAN. Was this a panic attack, emotional overload, or just strain? Her vision flickered before it went dark. Gemma saw the flickering of M3GAN's eyes before they closed as she fell back. She rushed to catch the girl before she hit the ground, cradling her in her arms. "M3GAN! M3GAN!" she shouted, holding her.